come once again to discuss things.
Episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sidvar2, and joining me today is Zazumar.
Hi everybody, and I just showed Ian the greatest 25 seconds of his life.
Arguably.
I just showed him the clip from the 1971 film Godzilla vs. Hedorah, where Godzilla takes flight.
Right.
Godzilla literally flies, and you didn't see this, Ian, and proceeds to fly across the skies of Japan and crash into Hedorah. Now, Ian, tell me this didn't make it amazing. Like, not only is it a crappy, like, little maquette model of Godzilla, but the music they play.
It really does sound like 3, 2, 1 liftoff was just cut out.
Yep. And more than that, like, they had to know, like, this is the goofiest thing we have ever done. Like, yes, Godzilla has danced in space, but this is the goofiest thing we have ever done. Ever. So, listen to me. Who scored that? Masaru Sato? I think it was Masaru Sato. So, Sato, listen to me. You gotta give me something here, because this is too much.
Oh, man. So, like, I decided that we were going to start the episode as soon as I finished watching that, because I'd, like, heard it described to me before, and I thought that was the funniest it could possibly be. But no, it is really worth watching. So, if you've never seen it, go ahead and pause the video right now. I'm going to put a link in the description, and just do yourself a favor and go watch that clip, because that'll put you right in the mood of what this week's episode's all about. Well,
oh, it's so fitting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I thought it'd be a good place to start the episode after
so fitting.
Since it came up kind of naturally.
Yeah, so fitting.
Bill, what are we talking about this week?
We are talking about something that I came up with last week on my ass. Like literally last minute.
No, literally. Like I called him while we were recording, and he texted me back after he hung up saying, "No, I don't know what I have no ideas."
And I was like, wait a minute, I have an idea. Because it literally, as soon as my mind was like, you have nothing, just tell him no. The minute I said that, something came to me. And I was
troll
like,
face.
Literally, like my brain put on the troll face and was like, hey, you've got an idea. And I hung up the phone and I was like, maybe I should just hold back. No, fuck it, I gotta go for it, because it was too good of an idea. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of Godzilla vs. Hedorah, and in the spirit of the late Showa series of Godzilla, we're gonna talk about camp.
Oh, God.
In film, in comics, in everything, the wonderful, glorious nature of camp. Mm-hmm. And mainly, camp, when it works with something, and when it is literally just plain bad. Like, just plain awful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is very fitting because, you know, comic books and movies have gone through plenty of twists and turns over the decades that they've been around, of going from campy to serious to back to campy again, and then everything in between. And I think we're kind of in a golden age right now where there seems to be a building appreciation for both.
Yes, but I feel like there's this sense that people don't really understand camp.
How so?
Like, there's just, like, people look at Adam West Batman, and they're like, Batman's not like that, he's not a stupid hero and stuff, blah, blah, blah. He's a serious character. I'm like, yes, he is, but he can be both.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, people seem to think that...
I think camp goes over people's heads, is the thing.
I think people don't get it for sure. Because I think when people look at campy Batman, they're like, I have to look at this and have the same feelings towards it that I do, like, Nolan Batman, or even Burton Batman to certain extents.
Which was in its own right campy even before Schumacher got a hold of it.
Ian, you gotta wonder if in 30 years, kids are gonna be watching The Dark Knight and go, that's so campy.
That'd be so... Like, what kind of twisted film world do we have at that point? Has all of film just become torture porn at that point?
I mean, you gotta wonder, like, is Batman getting his dick cut off? Like, what the fuck could possibly happen?
Oh my god!
But tell me,
tell me that, Bill. Is it such a morbid example, and you just came up with it so quickly?
Well, think about it this way. So Batman's putting on the bat suit for the first time. He looks in a mirror and he goes, if I pop a boner, I'm fucked. So he's like, Alfred, I need you to cut me.
Oh, God.
Just to keep the boner down. Anyway, no, that's a morbid way to start. But I think people look at camp and go, they say, okay, I have to take this seriously and also feel the same way about it. Like, I have to watch that and go, that's a good, interesting Batman movie. And it's like, no, what camp is for is it's this wink to the viewer going, isn't this just the greatest thing ever?
Yeah. Just,
isn't this awesome? Like, you and I watched that Godzilla vs. Hedorah clip, and I don't know what the fuck was going through Yoshimitsu Banno's brain, but, like, you and I had this moment where I was like, isn't that just, like, the greatest thing you've ever seen? Just the things that have to happen for that to happen.
Like, sorry, just every time I think about it, I just really want to see them do, like, dude, how happy would you be? Like, I imagine you'd be pretty...
If it happened in 2014.
Yeah, if the very first time we see Godzilla in 2014, that's what he does. And then the rest of the movie is just like this really dark, bleak, serious film.
Oh my god. No, what I want, the perfect reference to that in my mind, is in one of the future Godzilla movies, somebody sees all the incredible power Godzilla has, and goes, what next? Is he going to be able to fly? And then everybody is just quiet. Yes. And just looks at him, and then somebody just goes, no, that would be stupid. And then that's just it.
Right?
Like, that's just all I want. And the only reason, it would kind of be like that moment in Doctor Who, where Martha's like, next thing you're going to tell me is he's your secret brother. And then everybody goes quiet, and the doctor goes, you've been watching too much TV.
Wait, what was that?
Master storyline.
Oh, okay.
So just like that. That, to me, would be the perfect thing.
Well, like, it's funny, I mean, Doctor Who modern, like, obviously old Doctor Who had a lot of camp, but a lot of modern Doctor Who has a lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudge camp. Like, particularly when they bring in certain classic characters and stuff. I mean, the episode... I gotta drop you, bud. Sorry, guys. Milan's trying to join the call. Technical difficulties. Anyway, the episode where K9 comes on during Tennant's run is so insanely wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the old classic thing, and it's so campy, and I don't care, because K9's still a badass.
Well, that's the thing. There's this modern interpretation of camp, I have this too, where we look at these ridiculous fucking concepts and we go, oh my god, that's fucking awesome. Like, if in the 1990s, in this obsession with grunge and darkness and shit, if I had come to somebody my age and gone, one day, you are going to want to make a comic book about a bipedal, mutated moose. I don't think I would have the same reaction to it as I do today. And I think that that's because in this age of the internet and with the age of the internet meme, we have this appreciation for just this level of absurd awesomeness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that kind of... I hadn't really thought about it in that way, but that's very accurate, because you have this this kind of like just, I don't care if it doesn't make sense, it's awesome and hilarious at the same time. Just live with it. That's really what the internet has done for a lot of mass media, is just this ballsiness to just do something, even if it doesn't make sense or not structured, even if it's not really structured well. You know, it's really fucking cool to see, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly. Totally. And I think Doctor Who is one of those things that's very indicative of that as well. It's like, yes, something being bigger on the inside is bullshit, but fuck you, it's awesome.
Yes and no.
We have a budget.
They really do play up the people's reaction and make that as realistic as possible. When I think camp in Doctor Who, I think more of just like the kooky alien costumes and these people look completely human, and we're not going to explain why they're not human. I think that when I think camp, and they like particularly, you know, Voyage of the Damned is a very camp episode in my opinion, and that's probably why I enjoy it more. I mean, he says Alonzo. Come on.
I mean,
that's exactly what we were just talking about.
Oh yeah.
It's just
okay,
so awesome
I'm with you.
And so much fun that of course you have to do it. And I mean, he takes a giant spaceship version of the Titanic and flies it over Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Just like barely grazing the roof, and the Queen yells, "Thank you, Doctor! That's just awesome!"
Well, also, you know what I think works about that is that, and I've said this a lot after getting into Classic Who. Classic Who is 50s B movies with the Doctor in it. That's what it is. And you gotta wonder if it would be as good as it is if it didn't have that character and those actors in it. You know what I mean?
Well, like, I think what makes, and I think this applies to camp a lot, what makes you take it seriously, what makes it so endearing, often a lot of times comes down to the actors, and how they make you invest in it. Because there's a very fine line between things that are camp and fun and things that are just awful. And I think one of the major things that can make it slide one way or another is the actors or the main characters more generally.
Definitely.
A lot of the, like, I've said this a couple times, and I think this topic really does kind of solidify it for me. I think Matt Smith is a good doctor, but I'm not really sure if he's a great doctor, because I think what makes someone a great doctor is their ability to take something that is just fucking god-awful on its own and make me enjoy it anyway. Like, you watch some of the, like, you know, John Pertwee or Tom Baker or any of a lot of the classic doctors have some really shit episodes. And Tennant has his own share of shit episodes. Eccleston wasn't around quite long enough to get really bad ones, but I mean, the first...
Though he gets one or two.
The first two were really not that good, though. You know, you have these actors who are playing the Doctor, so you're endeared to the character for one, and everyone that's played the Doctor has been a good actor. You know, they did that well at the very least. Everyone that's played the Doctor was good. I can say that to the effect of everyone except for Colin Baker, just because I haven't seen any of his stuff, but I'm sure he's fine.
I'll say in my opinion he is amazing as
okay.
well. And I'll agree with you.
Let me just wrap up real quick. Now, the reason I don't think that Matt Smith is a great doctor, he's certainly a good doctor, is I don't think Matt Smith has had any terrible episodes from a writing standpoint.
Yes, I mean, he's had a couple where I go, eh.
Yeah, but they're not off, they're nowhere near, like, you know, Love and Monsters.
No, he doesn't get anything like that. Though, not in his Doctor Who series. I'm going to say something very controversial right now. I don't like the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Neither do I.
And here's the big thing. It's for little kids. It's on the children's BBC channel. So you know who they're going for, so it's not for me. I'm sure kids love it, it's not for me. It's not like, it doesn't do what Who does.
But it is also very campy. So, like, I could imagine, like, from what I've seen of Sarah Jane, I could imagine that I probably would enjoy it if I were to, you know, sit down and watch it with a kid. You know?
Probably. Yes, but
Because,
See,
like,
here- and
the
I'm
thing
gonna-
is, since it's a kid's show, it's hard to get into on your own terms, you know?
Definitely, yes, definitely, and I'll say this too, and this might be going too far, but I'm going to say it because it's what's on my mind. It's kind of like watching a slightly more well-written version of like a Nickelodeon sitcom,
Yeah.
but with aliens in it.
Perfect.
It's definitely better than that, but that's kind of how it comes off, especially with the level of effects compared to the main Doctor Who series. And I watched the entire Death of the Doctor episode of Sarah Jane Adventures where the 11th Doctor pops up, which it's cool in and of itself to see the 11th Doctor meet Sarah Jane for the one and only time, and Joe Grant as well,
Yeah.
which was awesome. She hadn't been on since the 70s. And it's better than everything else because Matt Smith elevates it because he comes in there and is like, okay, Russell, this is not the greatest thing you've ever written, but I'm gonna make it pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and whenever the 11th,
but the thing is, that's not a Doctor Who episode to me.
yes, but when he's on screen, it is significantly better than when he's not. And let me also say this. I was gonna say this earlier. The Doctor. And why I think the Doctor Who universe works as well as it does is because the Doctor looks at the universe in the proper way. And this is all embodied if you watch Night in the Doctor. Because there's this one moment where the Doctor says to Amy, the universe is never going to make sense. So just stop worrying about it.
And buy yourself an ice cream.
And buy yourself an ice Go back in time and buy the kid version of yourself an ice cream cone. Like, that embodies how you should watch Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
And how the Doctor looks at it. Like, yeah, none of this makes sense, but I'm going to have fun with it. And I'm going to walk in this world. And I think that's the way you look at camp and how camp should be done. And I also agree with the point you made earlier. Acting is the biggest thing that sells camp, and actors have to play. They have to play the script. You can't have a campy script. Like, you can't have Attack of the Crab Monster, and then put in shitty actors because it's a shitty script played by shitty actors. And now imagine if you had done Attack of the Crab Monster with a not so great script, and you had brought in a bunch of actors who were like, yes, this is not Shakespeare, but it doesn't matter because it's campily awesome, and I'm gonna sell that. I'm gonna make the audience have as much fun watching it as I'm gonna have fun making the schlock.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to do. I think that's what Doctor Who's all about, and I think that's when camp works. Another good example of that to get away from Who. The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra is one of the greatest movies ever made. Now, Ian, I don't know if you listened to the last episode of Demons from Outer Space yet.
No, because, like, I kind of want to watch it with the commentary on, but my thing about commentaries is, you know, just to get off on a quick tangent here, my thing about commentaries is I don't feel comfortable watching a commentary unless I've seen the movie on my own recently. So
Fair
I'd
enough.
basically have to devote, like, at least 3 hours to just about any commentary. And I just don't really have the time to do that.
Okay, I got you. But anyway, let me just say that. Well, okay, fuck my commentary. Just watch the movie.
Okay.
Just do yourself a favor and watch it. You will not be disappointed. And here's why I say it's one of the greatest movies ever made. It knows exactly what it is, and everybody in that movie is just selling it to you on a golden platter. It is the 50s B movie. Everything you love about 50s B movies is in there.
Is the
and
Doctor in there?
There's a campy scientist who everything is like science, this atmospherium detector. And then he's kind of got his own version of the Master because there's an evil scientist too.
Awesome.
And there's a lost skeleton, and there's an alien monster, and there's two aliens who are just like, oh, okay, Ian, one line to sell you for the movie. So the evil scientist looks at the two aliens try to disguise themselves as Earthlings in order to try and get their hands on the atmospherium. They need the atmospherium to power their ship. And if you're trying to avoid spoilers for Lost Skeleton, get some fucking perspective. So they're trying to get the atmospherium, so they dress up as Earth people, and they're so obviously not Earthlings, but everybody just can't fucking see it. Everybody is just so stupid that they just don't get that they're not aliens, or that they're aliens. So at one point, they literally just come out and basically say it. So the evil scientist goes, "You're aliens, aren't you? You're aliens, aren't you? Aliens? What is this? One of your Earth jokes?" If that line doesn't get you to see the movie, you have no soul. That, and, okay, one more moment I'm going to bring up. And this, again, definition of camp. So the Lost Skeleton is also trying to get his hands on the Atmospherium, because that's how he's going to bring himself back to life. The Atmospherium is the big fucking, like, artifact everybody's after. And the skeleton is telepathically communicating with this woman, and he says, and telepathically he goes, "Bring me the Atmospherium." But she can't pronounce Atmospherium, so she keeps saying Amish terrarium, and everybody's staring at her because she's standing up like hypnotized, like just continuously saying this. And the lead scientist goes, "Amish terrarium? That's you can't put the Amish in glass terrariums. That's terribly inhumane." Again, if that doesn't get you to see the movie, I mean, I don't know what will. I cannot sell you on Lost Skeleton of Cadavra in any other way. And it's filled with every line is like that, though. Every line, not a boring moment.
Oh, that's
but again, that's how you do camp. You've got to sell it to the audience. You've got to devote yourself to it. Okay, I said earlier, I know this isn't Shakespeare, so I'm going to play it like this. Fuck that, I'm contradicting that. You have to sell it like it is Shakespeare. You have got to consume yourself in the camp.
Yeah, do you like... I love just straight-faced, no holes barred, just delivering it like this is, you know, the most important thing any human being has ever said. Like, I love when actors do that with really, really campy shit.
Exactly.
Oh my god. I love that.
When those aliens go, "Aliens? What is this? One of your Earth jokes?" When that alien says it straight-faced, like he is saying, to be or not to be, that is the question.
That sounds...
I mean, that's how you do camp. That is how you do camp.
Well, like, I mean, perfect example for those that haven't seen it. You know what? Bill, real quick, open up Pamela and mark down the time right now for me.
23:09.
Okay. I'm going to play a clip from Ian and Bobby's Epic Quest to rent a movie.
Okay.
Wonder Boy, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. No! Hey, what the fuck?
Sorry about that, but I need you on this case.
Batman, I am honored. You are my hero.
Actually.
No!
You've always been mine.
So, the clip I just played is where Wonder Boy meets Batman, and Batman tells him that Wonder Boy is his hero. And then they run toward the camera, and it's all in slow motion and stuff. And I mean, that's what's, like, Wonder Boy was our attempt to make just the cheesiest fucking superhero in the world.
Like, the most cliched, basic superhero, but, like, he knows he is that and, like, sells it like, I am better than Superman.
He does. And, like, there are so many lines that we wanted to put in, but we just couldn't think of a good way to get them in there. I was thinking about one today that I really wish I could have found a way to make it work. But, like, the line was, who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman? Wonder Boy would come in and settle their differences.
Ian, we're both Kevin Smith fans.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
What did Kevin Smith do when he had two amazing characters that he just loved putting in every movie, and he had so much shit he wanted to do with them, but he could never put it in? What did he do?
He made a movie with them.
He gave them his own movie. So Ian, I pitch to you Wonder Boy, the motion picture.
We've talked about it. We have talked about it. There was going to be a Wonder Boy short, but it never got off the ground. No, but like, I just loved writing scenes with Wonder Boy because Scott just fucking sold that thing. Like, the scene, the other scene with him that, like, I really enjoyed, and he did the majority of it just based off of notes I had, because, like, we couldn't give him cue cards, and he didn't have time to memorize the dialogue. We couldn't give him cue cards because he had a fucking sock over his eyes.
Oh, I never thought of that. He couldn't see a thing when he was on screen, could he?
No, not a damn thing. There's an outtake of him running into a fucking bench when he runs on screen.
Oh, you told me about this.
No, but like there's that scene where he gives a PSA about why you should not illegally download movies.
Oh, yes, I remember this vaguely.
So we filmed that on the blue screen in my basement, and I more or less just give Scott the notes. I'm like, alright, so basically Bobby and I are trying to download a movie. You pop up on screen and give a speech about why it's a bad thing to download movies. And then you say Wonder Boy away or something like that. And he's like, okay. And it took us about half an hour to get it, because Scott screwed up a couple times, but a couple of the other times, I just laughed my fucking ass off. like the line that I will always remember, and I'm so mad at myself because I would have loved for this to be in the final take, was, if you illegally download movies, you could end up a 23-year-old loser virgin who still lives with his parents. And that, hold on, and that is not ideal. And I just fucking lost my shit because of how, like, straight-faced he was. And just so, like, dead serious. I just started laughing my ass off, and he goes, "Damn it, Ian!" I'm like, I'm sorry.
That, and you know, under that sock, he was staring at you behind the camera.
No, I was boom operating at that point.
Oh, okay.
But God, that was so much. Like, every scene was like, I'll put a link also in the description to the YouTube cut of Ian and Bobby's Epic Quest to Rent a Movie. Go watch it just for the Wonder Boy scenes if you're a fan of camp, because that's all it is. It's just,
that's all the whole movie is, yeah.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it gets a little morbid.
Oh, what are you trying to tell me? It's like this Shakespearean drama about
it gets
two men trying to rent what were they trying to rent? Dirty Dancing?
Yeah. It gets a little too morbid for me to consider the entire movie camp.
Oh, you're crazy, Ian. You're crazy!
Dude, like, a guy gets his hand ran through a sewing machine and then starts bleeding everywhere and crying and screaming, why, I told you what you wanted to know, why would you do that? And the guy that did it's just like, snitches get stitches, bitch.
Okay, alright, so let me ask you this then. Well, actually, hang on, first things first. Ian, if you ever do the Wonder Boy movie, don't call it Wonder Boy the Motion Picture. You need to parody Man of Steel. And come up with a title like that.
Okay.
Like whatever one of Wonder Boy's like subtitles or whatever, that's gotta be the title. It's gotta be fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and another thing
like
with
like Boy of
we'll brainstorm later, Bill.
Oh.
Now, like, one of the other things that I really love to do, because you see it a lot in those old, like, superhero things, is when the news media just, like, it seems like the news media is the superhero's marketing team.
Yeah.
And, like, we did that with our anchor. He's like, local superhero, teen heartthrob, and rock legend Wonder Boy. He just starts saying, like, all his positive qualities. Oh, man. That's such a fun, like, every single one of the Wonder Boy bits always gets me to this day. And, like, what's better about it is the reverse, where you just get to see Bobby's reaction to Wonder Boy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what you should call it? Boy of Wonder.
Boy of Wonder?
Yes. And then, when you do a sequel, the Boy of Wonder rises.
Okay, but anyway. No, I really love, like, that straight-faced, deadpan kind of, like, completely serious acting when it comes to camp. And, I mean, sometimes it's not only hilarious, but it actually makes it genuinely endearing. You know, it actually makes you genuinely care about what's going on.
Because it gets you on the movie's side. You're like, okay, if this motherfucker is putting that much passion into it, I'm that passionate about the material.
Yeah.
Adam West was the king of this.
I mean, he still is. What he does with Family Guy is on its surface hilarious, but just like it's so damn engrossing. You just want to know what's going on with this mayor character.
My favorite example of this on Family Guy. You believe that dude wants to erect a statue dedicated to the Diggum Frog. You believe it. You believe that that's something he wants to do.
Yeah.
And it's all because of Adam West's delivery.
Yeah.
And then that he would also...
Adam West.
You know who also is really good at it?
Who?
The Shat.
Oh, God, William Shatner. Watch Boston Legal. And that's the thing. Some episodes are just really, like, funny, kooky, crazy, camp kind of nature from time to time in Boston Legal. But then, like, Shatner's good at doing a turn. Like, he can make you really start to weep for him because he's this old, washed-up lawyer that, like, his career record is still, like, flawless, but he doesn't want to retire, and he's going crazy. He's getting Alzheimer's very slowly, so he just, like... He's just dealing with this sense of his best days being behind him, and there's like a lot of things going on with that character that are really fascinating, but then he like shoots people with paintball guns and just thinks that it's like no big fucking deal.
Again, I think it's all... If they make that character seem like you believe that this guy would do that, then that's what you need to do.
Oh, like here's a great example, going back to Boston Legal for a second, if you don't mind. The very first episode, Alan Shore, who's like essentially the main character of the show, and Denny Crane, who is William Shatner's character's protege, is dealing with a case where a young black girl wants to play Annie on Broadway.
Okay.
And they threw her out of the auditions, right?
Right.
They're like, no, we're not going to have you as a part of it. We're going to let you audition, but we're never really going to consider you. So he's representing this girl in court for her right to play Annie, and there's this whole debate about race and characters and stuff, and he's like, I'm going to lose this case, and I know I'm going to lose it, and I'm going to lose this bet that I've made on this case because of that.
He made a bet?
Yes, he made a bet that he could win the case.
Professional... Like, just the bottom... If you want to be a professional lawyer, place bets on your cases. You'll make lots of money.
Right,
Trust
right.
me.
No, but anyways, he's like, I'm going to lose this bet. What am I going to do, Denny? And Denny's like, you need to pull a rabbit out of your hat. He's like, I don't know what that means. You need to think about what it means. So he's in court, and he's about to give his closing argument. And fucking Al Sharpton walks into the courtroom and gives a speech about how we need a black Annie because tomorrow is always just a day away, but we want it now.
Oh my god! And wait, is this all in his mind,
No,
or is that actually
it is
happening?
actually.
Oh, that's great!
Sharpton. And after he gives this whole speech, and the court just erupts in applause and everything, he looks to Alan Shore and he goes, "That, son, is what we call pulling a rabbit." Oh, man.
You see, in my version, it's a zombie Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
That's my version, but that's okay. He did fine too, but that's my version.
Give us
Like
a black Annie today, not tomorrow, because you always want us to have tomorrow. You know why? Because it's always just a day away. But we want a black Annie now! And, like, the arguments for it were actually kind of compelling, because, like, of course Annie can be black. She's fucking adopted. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense that she would be black. But no, it's just, it's such a great fucking story.
Oh, that's great. Oh, God.
If that doesn't convince you, you go watch Boston Legal. I don't know what will.
Yeah. People, Lost Skeleton of Cadavra and Boston Legal. These are things you need to see.
Yeah.
These are things you need to watch.
Boston Legal actually goes to the point where it actually becomes endearing and, like, legitimately dramatic at points, but yeah.
I think that's something that I kind of contradicted earlier, but I did mean what I said earlier, but camp can say something. Camp doesn't have to just be two-dimensional cartoon. I mean, it will be, but, like, camp doesn't have to just be 2D cartoony fun that says nothing.
You can go back and forth. I think you can have elements of camp and still have elements of actual drama in what you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
Everything we've talked about, with the exception of Lost Skeleton, has...
Oh, what are you talking about, Ian? Are you saying that the Lost Skeleton of Cadaver isn't saying anything about the human condition?
Yes. And Milan and I talked about this during the Spyro Let's Play that we did, which is up, should be the most recent video after this one. We talked about this. Using the phrase, the human condition, is automatically pretentious.
It's true.
Just like, as soon as those words in that order leave your mouth, you would just become a pretentious douchebag.
Well, you know what then, Ian? Fuck that, I'm gonna go all the way. The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra not only is a study of the human condition, it is the most genius one. Because it takes the most important, unified, accepted version of the human condition. Everybody has a skeleton. That's my whole argument.
Okay, Bill.
That is my whole argument. Everyone listening, you have a skeleton. Think about it.
But is your skeleton lost, or have you really found it?
No, but you know what? You know what that also means? The lost skeleton is evil. So what does that mean?
Or is the lost skeleton you?
No, are you all evil on the inside?
Mmm.
Dun dun dun!
Right. No, but like, besides Lost Skeleton and Epic Quest had drama, but it was behind the camera. Let me put it that way. Besides,
you guys need to make like a movie called like Ian and Bobby's Epic Quest to make Ian and Bobby's Epic Quest to rent a movie.
That's like, I love ridiculously long titles. Ridiculously long titles are camp within themselves.
Oh, Ian, there's one major thing we have to bring up.
Hold on, let me finish real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, okay.
Like, besides Lost Skeleton and Epic Quest, I think everything we've talked about thus far does do both. It does have camp, but it does either become genuinely endearing and you actually grow to accept it, or it actually has legitimately good drama that you could conceivably edit out the camp and this is hardcore serious stuff, you know?
Yeah, I think that the camp amplifies it, but yeah.
No, but I mean, like, let's say that you had someone that, like, I won't watch anything if it can be considered campy. I just won't watch it. It's stupid. I'm not going to dip my toe in it. Because there are people like that. Like, I only like serious, art house drama stuff. No camp. Fuck.
Batman can't smile!
Yeah, stuff like that. So, like, conceivably, the majority of things we've talked about, you can edit out the camp and take it completely seriously. It's just the camp makes it fun. The camp is a good way to do comic relief without having to, have comic characters, basically.
I mean, it's a tone setter is what it is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But go ahead, what else were you about to bring up?
Well, I think what you're trying to do is transition into, but sometimes camp is just there for camp. And I think one great example of this, and I think one of the best examples of just using camp to change a generation. One of my favorite television shows of all time, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, there is nothing that has ever been created, or might never be created again, that celebrates and validates camp, and validates watching shitty movies, campy movies, than Mystery Science Theater. I'm a big Mystery Science Theater fan, and I just it was the thing that taught me to go, yes, watching great pieces of cinema is absolutely how you should spend your time. But sometimes you gotta watch a Lost Skeleton of Cadaver. You've gotta watch, that was made for that reason. Or watch Attack of the Crab Monster, or watch Bride of the Monster, because they may be crappy, but there is a fun and a passion to the crap that you can get into, and you can join in the film and have fun with the movie. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And be an active role. Make the movie fun for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what Mystery Science Theater was. And it had terrible special effects, and you know, you could see the wires, you know, you could see just all this stuff, and that was the point. Mystery Science, like, let me just say this, if like Michael Bay is like, I'm gonna do my version of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and like Crow and Servo are like these like complex 3D transforming robots, and it wasn't played as a joke, then
That would be
like
really epic if they did a Mystery Science Theater reunion, and they actually did it like legit, like really good Hollywood special effects and everything.
right,
That's a
exactly.
joke.
But again, yeah, I mean, it'd have to be like, but it would have to be aware of itself. Like, I mean, like if it was just like fucking Crow T robot is gonna like punch Servo in the
Let me
mouth.
ask you something real quick. Sorry to break off your point twice here, but let me just ask you something. Do you think if MST3K came back for one thing, would the first or the second Transformers movie be really good for them to do?
I think they've done them on riff tracks.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, oh, definitely, totally. You can do anything.
No, but I mean,
like-
do you think, like, if they were to come back for one modern movie,
Oh, would that be a good one to do?
would that be, like, the one? Or what?
No, absolutely not. You know what they need to... You know in your heart what movie they need to do. Come on, Ian. I know it's in your heart. Just say it.
I don't know.
The Room.
No,
You know if they
that's
come
not like
back,
a
they need-
science movie, though.
So?
But it's Mystery Science Theater.
They didn't follow that all the time. They did Lover's Lane, for Christ's sake.
No, but the Room's been done to death. It's a bad movie.
Alright,
Get
alright.
over it. Like, this is I say Transformers because it's like a multi-million-dollar piece of crap.
Yeah, but they would also be criticized for that, because they would be criticized in that way, like, oh, you could never make anything like this, and they've been criticized for that before too.
Well, then there you go. It's a wash since they've already been.
That's true.
criticized.
Or, I mean, I think there's better movies. I think there's more apt films than Transformers. Because the problem with Transformers is it's fucking boring at points. Like, there's no material. You know what I mean?
No, but that's
Like-
when they just talk about like shit. That's when they just do their shit or like skip around in the movie like they kind of did from time.
Yeah, they. Oh, it would definitely be edited. For sure. So you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, do Transformers or do like, I don't know. Do Superman Returns.
Oh God.
Superman Returns would be amazing.
No, but Superman Returns is more boring than Transformers.
Yeah, but again, they edited it. Like, they would just be like, hey, Superman, stop being a bitch.
Superman raped Lois Lane? What the fuck?
See, there you go. Or the day before the Earth Stood Still remake.
Anyway, go back to what you were saying with MST3K before this.
I mean, I basically finished. It's just like, that's how we look at camp today. And I think Mystery Science Theater is the big thing that this generation grew up with, that really informed how we look at camp today. And you gotta wonder if it wasn't there, if the kind of cynical culture of the internet that exists now, if it would have existed without Mystery Science Theater. Because that was the big thing that this generation grew up with that had that.
You know the like critic Muppets, like the two guys up in the balcony that just
Statler and Wardorf?
Yeah. I saw someone they photoshopped those two guys onto the screen of MST3K, and they put underneath the like in the black area they put just an infinity sign.
So wait, were they? Who was watching who?
That's
Oh,
the
that's
point.
the
Is there?
That's the point. Oh, I get it. Oh my God. That may be the greatest thing ever.
It would never end. It would just go
That
on for
may-
years.
That may be the greatest thing ever.
Right. Anyway, you just reminded me of that. But you also brought up something that, it just sparked a little idea in my head here.
Mhm.
I've heard you say this a lot, and I'm wondering if it can qualify yet or not. Or I'm wondering if there's a certain level of age for camp, I suppose. Do you think early CGI, which I know you say you hate, do you think early CGI is camp or no?
Sure, totally. I would definitely say that's camp. You mean like an early 2000s horror movie, like fucking Python?
Yeah. Oh God. Well, no, but like something more mainstream, I guess.
Oh, Python's not mainstream enough for you? Okay, no. So you mean like what's a crappy CGI early 2000s CGI movie? God damn it.
Like, I think Van Helsing has its elements of camp in it.
Yeah, but that's too intense. Like, you could make an argument for that, though.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? It's gotta be something where, like, the CGI was meant to be, like, fucking, like... It was meant to be, like, Avatar at the time.
Oh,
like, it was supposed to be taken...
what's her... Ultraviolet. Oh, God.
I have no idea what that is.
Don't bother. Like, there's this whole fucking scene where she's riding a motorcycle through the city, and she's, like, riding on the sides of buildings, kind of like they did in The Matrix, I think. I can't even remember. Where she's, like,
or Doctor Who.
Yeah, there you go, like that. She's riding a motorcycle on the sides of buildings being chased by a helicopter, and there's, like, explosions and shit happening. But, dude, the buildings and the helicopter and the motorcycle and everything, at best, it was, like, late PS1 era style.
Oh, God, yes! Oh, God, yes.
Like, the thing is, parts of that movie are really fucking cool. Like, I don't know why. She has, like, it's such a simple thing, but I think it's awesome. She has a sword. They have, like, samurai swords, kinda. But instead of, like, the traditional samurai sword, where it's basically, like, triangle-ish in shape, you know, kind of. Like a curved triangle blade, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, like, a square. Like, imagine, like, a rectangle that gets, like, skinnier as it goes down toward the handle. And it's sharp on all three edges.
Mm-hmm.
So like, they had swords like that, and it was fucking cool for some reason.
Excuse me. I'm sick, everyone, if you didn't know. Yes, I mean, that would be it. That would be ideal. I mean, I would say that's campy.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely, sure. Because I think that that in 20 years people are going to look at that and make a new Lost Skeleton of Cadavra type movie that's paying homage to that era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what's fucked up when we think about special effects in terms of this generation, and I'm sure past generations had this too. We look at something like Avatar, and we think that is the best it can be. But it's not, because in 20 years, something's going to come along that outdoes it.
Like I'm telling you, pretty soon we're just going to get to the point where you can, like, 3D print living organisms.
Yeah, but you know, and like that, it would have to be something that crazy, though. Because let me ask you this, do you think 25 years ago, 40 years ago, anybody had any, 25 years is enough. But pre-Close Encounters, did anybody have any idea that one day we were going to have, like, that something like CGI could possibly replace practical effects? Like, you know, suits, stop-motion, miniatures,
I mean, I know you're, like, a
prosthetics.
fan of old Hollywood with the pseudomation and the puppets and stuff, and I certainly like some of that. I think the biggest problem a lot of that has is just general movement. It always looks kind of clunky one way or another. And
Yeah,
that's
but
the
I
thing
have-
CG has over, like, practical effects, is it moves better than a lot of other things do if you were to do it with a puppet or a suit. It just doesn't look like it's there.
Yes, but my question, and that's fine. But my question is
I just
this.
wanted to clarify that real quick.
Yes. Will
That's something
something
I've
come along that will make that argument for CGI that you just made against old Hollywood? You know what I mean? Like, that's my question. Do you think, like, because I have no concept of what it could be.
Well, we're
you know what I
getting into
mean?
kind of like the uncanny valley, which may have to be a video in and of itself.
Oh,
just
we have to do a video on the Uncanny Valley.
just
Definitely.
to give a general outline for people that don't know. There's this theory in animation, or just in effects in general, let's call it, where the more realistic an animated character looks, like texture-wise, like the more realistic the skin and the hair and the eyes look, the weirder it looks when they move or talk, because the facial animations just, something doesn't work about it. And
right, and you focus on that.
yeah, and it's so weird because, I mean, you look at a movie that got a lot of hate for this, but honestly, if it's one of those things, if you don't know it, you don't know it. Which sounds redundant, but hold my hand here.
Okay. No.
Milan constantly brings it up. The still images for Green Lantern looked amazing. The movie images, it looked really fake and cheesy to him. Alright? A couple weeks ago, I was in a mood. I was watching the Green Lantern movie, and after it finished, I decided to watch some of the special features. And there are 2 deleted scenes that have Ryan Reynolds and Mark Strong wearing the mocap suits. Alright? And, like, because the movie didn't make enough money for them to justify doing the effects for those scenes in this special cut. So it's just the scene, and they're wearing the mocap suits, and they're on the green screen. Or actually, they use blue. So I'm watching the movie, and my mom's walking back and forth, and she sees I'm watching Green Lantern, and she leaves the room. Then she comes back later, and she sees that I'm watching this scene with Ryan...
She leaves ashamed.
No, I see that she sees that I'm watching this scene with Ryan Reynolds and Mark Strong dialogue, but they're wearing the mocap suits, and she's like, what the hell are they wearing? Like, it's the mocap suits. That's how they did the costumes. And she's like, what? The costumes for Green Lantern, no one was actually wearing, like, those outfits. That was all added in post. And she's like, wow, I couldn't tell. But the thing I hear all the time from people is, it looks so fake, it looks so fake. Not if you didn't know it was fake, you probably wouldn't be able to tell.
Well, you wouldn't be able to say it was fake because you wouldn't have a concept of how it's fake. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you look at a magician, and you go, oh, it's gotta be fake. But it's hard to say because you don't know how, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What could be done to have faked it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that I'm gonna say, and your example is great too because you had that little anecdote, but I think another good example of this that everybody had was the fucking Polar Express movie.
Oh, God.
Because it's such very photorealistic animation that everybody hated it because it's so goddamn creepy. And what the Uncanny Valley is, to say it very, very short, is it looks so realistic that you focus on the 1% that's not.
30 Rock.
You just focus on that.
30 Rock did a whole episode about the Uncanny Valley, but they applied it to pornographic video games. And you just reminded me of that. And this is Geeky Gentlemen, so we have to bring up things like that, because we are proper gentlemen.
We are. Yes, quite.
No, but that's... The Uncanny Valley is just an interesting topic in and of itself, and I think it does require at least a mini, if not a full video.
Yeah, we just did it. No, I'm kidding.
No, we did do a full mini on that, because there's so many other places to go. But the thing is... Yeah. You look at... So it's arguably that there's nothing wrong with the animation except for very, very basic mistakes that animators will eventually grow out of. Because as someone that's taking animation, there's this really weird disconnect between old school and new school. Since we still reasonably are on the cusp of computer animation, you know, all things considered. Hand-drawn animation had been going around for quite a long time before computers became involved. I mean, 97 was the first computer-animated film.
Yes.
Feature-length film.
Full feature-length. Fully... Everything was done that way. That was Toy Story,
Yeah. So, like... I'm taking character development, and I'm trying to make a Godzilla, right? Because there are no free CG models of Godzilla that I can find online that are good. And you know what the process we have to do is?
What?
We have to draw Godzilla, then we have to make a clay sculpture, and then we get to start modeling in the computer. Bill, I can't draw and I can't model clay for shit.
Oh, Jesus.
But guess what? I'm starting to work on it in the computer already, and it's looking at, like, at least 90,000 times better.
Right.
So I think you can make the argument that there's this weird transition where tricks that worked for 2D animation to make things look realistic are being applied to 3D animation because it's kind of this mid-area where 3D animators are learning from 2D animators as opposed to 3D animators. Or people that started out as 2D animators, right?
Right, because there's no first generation.
Yeah, there's no old generation of 3D modelers yet.
So
yeah, I think what's going on in 3D right now is that people are using the old tricks for 2D animation, and it's just looking weird. So I think the Uncanny Valley at the moment may be attributable to the fact that we haven't gone into a full generation of 3D just yet.
Yeah, it's maybe and it might be because this happens with everything. The generation in which it gets revolutionized in is never. It's always the most difficult to copy when you belong to that generation. Here's what I mean. I'll give an example. This happens with everything, and the one thing that this happened with that's comparable to CG is stop motion. Arguably, the godfather of all stop motion is Willis O'Brien, who animated the first King Kong. And if you look at movies that came out, relatively close to King Kong, all of the ones that are comparable, like, oh, it's trying to ride off the success of King Kong, were made by the same people. Were made by either Willis O'Brien or people who worked with Willis O'Brien. Nobody could rip off King Kong properly because nobody could do it or do it comparably or do it well. You know what I mean? And we didn't start seeing King Kong knockoffs done that way until 20 years later. And you know why? Because the kids who looked at King Kong and said, oh, I want to do that, they were the ones who were going to learn how to do it properly because kids learn better than adults do.
Yeah.
So you didn't see good stop-motion Kong knockoffs like Ray Harryhausen's era until 20 years after Kong came out. And I think we're going to definitely see that with CGI, and I think we're starting to see it. Kids who grew up with Toy Story looked at Toy Story and went, oh, I want to do that. So now 20 years after Toy Story, we're going to probably start seeing, stuff that improves upon it or looks... I think it's not going to be as drastic, though, just because we have schools that teach this stuff now, and we didn't back then, really.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think that's part of the problem is you get this carryover because I think part of the appeal of 3D modeling or computer art in general is that you don't have to be skilled with your hands to work with a computer. Because all you have to do is be able to picture it in your head and then manipulate what you see right in front of you, and you can always go back, right? I think that's what really helps with it. Whereas by hand, you have to have a certain technique. You have to know how to hold the brush or whatever.
Right. Yes.
But
I also think there's... Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get off the uncanny.
Well, let me just say this one last thing, because it's something I've encountered as well in terms of writing. There's something in between you and the final product that is kind of giving it shape. Like, I can't draw for shit either. So when I write something that is meant to give an image in the mind... Like, there's a person reading it in between my writing and that image that is kind of putting that image together in their mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of the same thing. There's something and that's why there's something in between you and the final product putting it together. That can do it itself with computers as opposed to a brush. But yeah, let's get off of this. Ian, let me ask you this since I brought up Mystery Science Theater. What else are you a fan of or do you like that is just straight up campy, that doesn't really get too much into the dramatic side of things, but you just love it, just straight up camp?
It's weird for me. I don't mind camp. I like it more when it's just elements of it. I don't love camp when it's like just all you're seeing is camp. I think
do you do a lot of riffing yourself?
Not particularly. I don't have people to riff with a lot of the time. But let me say this much. I really enjoy... it's a parody, but it's a parody with gravitas because it respects the material. I really enjoy two movies that both fit into that category. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil and Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Have you seen either of those?
No.
Alright, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is about two rednecks who are out in a cabin in the woods, and teenagers start dying, and there's this misunderstanding between the teenagers think that the rednecks are killing them off, but the teenagers are just dying in these really horrific accidental ways, and the rednecks think that it's like that they're in some kind of suicide cult or something. So the kids are trying to attack them because they think they're killing them off, and like this kid goes to jump and like tackle the dude, but he steps out of the way at the last second because, holy shit, this kid's coming to jump and tackle me, and the kid instead goes straight into a wood chipper.
Oh.
Right, so I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that, and that's more of a morbid thing, but it's a little campy.
Where does the evil come in? Is there like a Necronomicon or something?
No, the idea is that the kids are evil because blah blah. Anyway.
Oh, that's the whole movie?
Yeah, no more.
I thought it was like that's like the opening, and then fucking zombies.
No. That's what's going on. The whole movie is it's your basic serial killer like in the woods movie, but reversed.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
Yeah, it's really funny too.
That's genius. Oh god.
And then Kung Pao Enter the Fist, which I absolutely adore. It's so brilliant because you know he has to love these movies because what he did basically would have required him to sit there for fucking years and rewatch every single movie that he takes from.
Yeah.
But a lot of the old kung fu movies used a lot of the same actor. He takes from mostly one movie to get to do this, but he digitally inserts himself into the movie in place of the main character and is the chosen one that will defeat the evil in the world. And it's just like all this crazy stuff, and it's like it's the exact plot of a lot of these movies. Oh, you have to learn the secret technique to defeat the evil kung fu master and blah blah blah. And there's the plot of the prototypical kung fu movie, which is hilarious. But there are all these random ass gags left in that are so fucking quotable and so fucking ridiculous. One of my favorites is the bad guy is sitting around like with all the government officials that he's bribed, and he's known as Master Pain. And then he goes, "From this moment on," in this voice, "from this day on, you shall refer to me by the name Betty." And it's just, there's so many scenes like that. Like, he fights a cow, like in Matrix style. He fights a cow.
This is footage from a kung fu movie?
No, he CGI's in a cow, but it's hilarious. And it's just like, you gotta defeat his bodyguard before you can fight the real guy. And then it's like, so he goes to fight the real guy, he goes, she's like, "Where do I find him?" He spends all his time on the top of a waterfall swinging a chain. And then it cuts to that scene, and it's literally, you can tell it's from the actual movie. The dude's just standing at the top of the waterfall. He's got like a chain, and he's just swinging it above his head. And so they dub it in, and he's like, "Swinging a chain, swinging a chain."
That sounds awesome.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist was a movie that came out when I was in like 4th or 5th grade, and I just have always loved it. It's so damn kooky.
Now let me ask you this. Will you ever watch one of those prototypical kung fu movies just for that camp value of those tropes being just being present?
I mean, I'm not as big a Bruce Lee fan as some of my friends are, but I'm a Bruce Lee fan, and I enjoy watching the movies before Bruce Lee showed up because it gives you a real appreciation of what he did for the medium. Because kung fu movies up until Bruce Lee were all like, you know, people flying across the room and jumping on the ceiling, and you know, that basically fucking what Jet Li's brought back, which is unfortunate. That's what all the kung fu movies were until Bruce Lee showed up and made it hardcore action. But there's some really like campy fun shit that goes on in those old kung fu movies that I miss.
Right, yeah. Because, well, let me ask you this. I just completely forgot my question. This reminds me. Have you ever seen the Bruce Lee biopic movie?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, you liked it? Okay. Because I've heard people be like, "It's fucking shit!"
No, I enjoyed it.
Because I don't know much about Bruce Lee, but I saw that movie and I was like, yeah, I enjoy this. Figured I'd ask you. But I definitely do this with, I mean, this is my life with fucking monster movies. I mean, that's all I fucking do.
All Bill does is watch monster movies and eat.
That's true. That's my life. No, but I'll watch fucking, 50s, 60s, 70s monster movies that are just, like last year, I actually sat down and watched 2 hours of Aegon, the Atomic Dragon. Now, I had plans to review it, but the fact that I did it, it's like, I'm a monster movie fan. Because I just watched that for those tropes and just to love those tropes, and it's everything you want. It's fucking over the top scientists. It's a news reporter who's fucking jokes about everything and gets the girl in the end, and the military fights the monster, and the monster is done with a suit, and it's just everything you want. It's everything. And there's no actual, narrative worth to it, but it's just you live for those tropes. And I think that's classic camp. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the stuff we brought up is kind of modern camp. You know what I mean? Like this modern interpretation of camp as being a lot more self-aware.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's another level where it's just camp just because of the tropes at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of old James Bond is kind of campy.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, when Roger Moore did it, and later Sean Connery.
I think it wasn't intentionally campy. I wouldn't say every moment's camp in the early first Sean Connery movies, but there's certainly moments. I mean, you can see it more in Austin Powers than anything else when he's you can see it in Austin Powers big time. Like the first Austin Powers movie, the suit Dr. Evil's wearing when they're in his evil base, like about to launch the missile or whatever the fuck it is, it's almost the exact same costume Dr. No wears in the first movie. There's just
you sure? Because I thought Dr. Evil was supposed to be Blofeld.
Well, no, I mean he was every.
I mean they also wear like the exact same fucking clothes.
No, I mean he was every villain though. And I'm talking about like when he wears like the helmet and stuff. Like it's toward the end of the first Austin Powers movie.
I haven't seen that in fucking years.
You should like whenever you do Bondapalooza, you should do the Austin Powers, or not necessarily do the Austin Powers movies, but you should watch them before you do Bondapalooza, because it would give you I'd say before, because it'll give you more of an appreciation for some of the stuff that he does in those movies. I mean, Austin Powers, if you want to talk about tribute to camp, I mean, yes, it's parody, but you gotta give Mike Myers credit. He had a lot of respect for the James Bond movies because he put a lot of references and jokes in there that only the Bond fandom gets.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Because there's a lot of,
like the fact that in the third movie, just whatever happened to the second girlfriend, I don't fucking know.
I mean, I think that's what makes that so clever, is that you look at these classic tropes that were played straight, and you're like, yeah, we take it seriously, but how does that even make sense? Like, fucking, how do you never die? Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people, like a lot of Bond fans, they're a bunch of different categories of Bond fans, and a lot of people don't like Roger Moore, and a lot of people do like Roger Moore, and I'm one of the people that's kind of in the middle. Like, I love my serious and classic Ian Fleming, espionage Bond thriller, but I also love The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
I love The Spy Who Loved Me.
My suggestion for you once again is, and for anyone that's like a really big Bond fan, especially if you grew up with it. Like my dad was always watching Bond, but I never really got into it personally. But I definitely felt a little bit of the connection when I was reading the book. If you can find it, it's a really it's not a rare book, but it wasn't a very popular book, so it's kind of hard to find. From Stockholm with Love. If you can find that, read it. It's by David Bowker. Once again, From Stockholm with Love. You should probably get a hold of that if you're a big Bond fan and you really grew up with it. It's a really heartthelt story. And it's really fun, too, from time to time.
Yeah, I do want to read it. But let me just say this. The thing that's different with Roger, there's a clear distinction between Connery and Moore era camp. Connery played it very straight. He played it as kind of like what we were referring to earlier. Yes, this is over the top, but I'm going to play it like Shakespeare. Like, he was like, yes, I'm using a jetpack to move 20 feet, but fuck you, I don't care.
No, let me ask you something real quick. Connery had just a lot of crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, that didn't come until later. That's something a lot of people don't realize. His first two movies, are fairly low-key.
Yeah, but let me just ask this.
Okay.
I mean, Connery did have a lot of kooky kind of stuff going on in his, right? I mean, in Thunderball, doesn't he, like, ride...
Thunderball is the one where it really starts.
Okay, yeah, doesn't he ride, like, monoski down a mountain while shooting people?
No, that's on Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Okay, my bad. But still, I mean, even that, though. I don't know, was that Connery or was that...
No, that was George Lazenby.
Okay, anyway, but still, my point remains. Like, even Connery, he had a lot of that kooky stuff. Name something really kooky Connery did in one of the movies.
Again, he used the jetpack to move 20 feet.
Another one, come on.
Okay, fine, biggest one. He pretends to be Asian.
Okay, see, there you go. Alright, you look at that, and people just take him completely seriously. But the one I don't get is, why does Pierce Brosnan get so much crap for a lot of the campy stuff he did, like parachuting through a, like, ice avalanche?
Because that's different. That is so much different.
Why?
People also crap on Sean Connery. Like, I don't like Sean Connery using a jetpack to move 20 feet. But people crap on the Brosnan movies more so because that Bond had moved away from that, and people liked the move better. Like, GoldenEye is definitely a high-octane action movie, but there ain't no Bond fucking paraskiing on a goddamn wave. People liked the change, and he was getting away from the change, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it was going too far. It went beyond... And that's also why Casino Royale was so fucking popular, because they were like, oh, thank God, we went back to... We backed away from it. And let me just say this.
Does Daniel Craig do anything relatively campy in Skyfall? I mean, come on, they had to have had at least one campy comic relief.
They're so... But Ian, you don't understand. It's so different. It's so fucking... I mean, there are jokes and stuff, but it's classic Bond jokes. He's very witty, but like, I'm trying to think of, and I know what you're referring to, like over the top fucking stunts and shit. The closest thing I can think of is he jumps off of a roof with an assassin, and they crash through a glass ceiling, and it's a great scene. And fuck people who don't like Quantum of Solace, because this scene sells me on Quantum of Solace. He crashes through a glass ceiling, and they hit a scaffolding. And Bond grabs a rope as he's falling down, and he twirls around with the gun and shoots the guy.
Awesome.
While flinging down the rope.
See, okay, I'd consider that pretty campy.
It's pretty over the top, but it's shot in a way where it's kind of Bourne-ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's over the top, but it's shot in a way where it's like, fuck you. It's more of the Connery thing, where it's, fuck you, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I would say... I mean, but also then you go to Skyfall. But Skyfall, the villain... See, Skyfall does it really brilliantly. Skyfall is like, this is a very dark version of the Bond universe. But come on, guys, we all love the camp. So what they do is, like, we need to introduce an element that makes the campy stuff make sense in this universe. Okay, we'll bring in a villain who's fucking crazy. It's the same way they did the Joker in The Dark Knight.
I mean, that's the thing everyone keeps saying is Skyfall's great because it's just a carbon copy of The Dark Knight, but with James Bond.
It uses aspects of the Dark. No, and here's why it is that way. It uses aspects of The Dark Knight to validate older Bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So they bring in Silva, who is this crazy fucking cyanide-diseased, like, maniac. So he's crazy. So when he comes in a giant-ass military helicopter to Bond's estate, playing an 80s pop song, you buy it. And that's what it's there for. It's there to validate that camp. But I love it when stuff does that. I love Godzilla Final Wars for this too. It's a mix, because it's like Godzilla is that dark force of destruction, but like we've got aliens now, and we've got these high octane Matrix level action scenes, and we've got like
I got through about half of Final Wars, and I really did want to finish it. I just didn't have the time to. Mm-hmm. I was really enjoying it. I think my biggest problem with every Godzilla movie I've seen, and I understand why they do this, but it still does annoy the crap out of me. And maybe you can recommend one that doesn't do this. Seems like every Godzilla movie, they wait about an hour to show Godzilla for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, Final Wars, it's a bigger fucking problem because he's barely mentioned when he's not on screen. Like, for the ones where it works, he's at least, like, he's present, but
yeah,
he's not
like
shown.
a looming threat, but I'm just like...
Yeah, that's why I love...
I want to watch Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love Biollante, because he's not on screen, but he's causing everything to happen the way
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Biollante, but still it annoyed me that he's not on screen.
But again, you got to admit, though, that, like, it's better because he's at least present.
Yeah, it is.
Before he erupts out of that volcano.
I'm not saying that it's not enjoyable. Yeah. I'm just saying that's the one element.
It's annoying.
All the
it's like, I'm here for Godzilla. Watch Godzilla 2000.
Like, I'm
watching
Godzilla Final Wars. I'm watching Godzilla Final Wars. God, yeah. And as soon as Godzilla shows up, the movie gets, like, significantly fucking awesomer.
Oh, the last half is amazing.
Yeah, like,
wait
dude,
until you
like,
get to the last fight scene.
It drives me crazy because he's fighting all these monsters, but they're, like, 2-second monster fights. I'm like...
Yeah,
why did
we
spend the first hour doing this?
Yeah, every Godzilla fan has that problem. It's like, hey, Ryuhei Kitamura, we know you liked making martial arts movies, but we came here for Godzilla. You're not alone in that, and I definitely have that issue as well. Watch Godzilla 2000. He's in the first 5 minutes.
He's in the first 5 minutes, and then he's gone for how long?
Like 15 minutes, maybe.
And then he's back for the rest of the movie.
No. Okay, Godzilla 2000 starts off really strong. There's a stretch for about 20 minutes where it's like... And it's funny because they fucking are aware of it and they make fun of it in the movie. So he pops up twice really early on. And then he's gone for a while. And there's literally a moment where they're doing a news broadcast about this UFO coming down. And somebody goes, "Where is Godzilla?" That is the question on everyone's mind. Because everybody has become aware of the fact that this Godzilla 2000 is a brilliant movie. There's this moment where, because everybody has become aware of the fact that the UFO has this weird fascination with Godzilla. So, and when I saw Godzilla 2000 in theaters and they said that, I'm like, yeah, where is he? It's a great moment. It's a great Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
There's also a moment where they're in this military tent and they're talking about the first fight Godzilla had with the UFO. Which is an awesome scene because the UFO comes into frame and Godzilla just stares at it, and he just traces it, and he doesn't break eye contact, but it doesn't do anything. It's just this fucking like Old West standoff between Godzilla and the UFO, and they're in this tent after they attacked Godzilla, and one of the guys, they're talking about the UFO, how fucking weird it is, and they're like, yeah, like Godzilla's normal. Mm-hmm. It's a great scene. But and that's another good example. I love it when you can mix them. Mm-hmm. You can validate the camp by realistically incorporating it into the universe. And I think just to wrap up, because we're kind of far in, that's where I love camp the most, is when it makes sense in that context and it's not just jarring and just weird and kind of off-putting.
Yeah, I agree with that. Very much so. Bill, you and I agreed on a lot of what we talked about this time around.
Yeah, I don't like that. No.
Yeah, I mean, like, hold on. Just for, just to keep this consistent with all the other Geeky Gentlemen videos. Bill, what is something that you love that I hate? Your face. God damn it, Bill. Fucking, you and that face, ugh.
Oh.
Just quit it. Dude, I said fucking stop.
Alright,
Bill,
alright.
Why can't you... Dude, why you always gotta be like this? You always gotta be in fucking...
Fuck you.
Alright, let's end this. Pushing my fucking buttons all the time.
Ian, let's end this before I send a nuclear weapon to your house.
You act like I have to open it or whatever. Anyway.
Oh, okay. You get a giant box in front of your house. Tell me you're not like, I gotta at least see what's
inside. If it's addressed from you, yes, I'm not gonna open it because you just said you were gonna send a nuke. Anyway.
Alright, well, what if I don't tell you?
It's a little late for that.
Alright, but what if there was a nuclear symbol on it? Would you still open it?
Hell no.
Really?
I would even more not open it.
But like, I wouldn't think that's. But as a logical person, I wouldn't be like, there's something radioactive in here.
But it has a nuclear symbol on it.
Yeah, but like, but logically, you're like, it can't actually be radioactive. It's in a fucking cardboard box.
No, I'm not touching it. Anyway.
God damn it, Ian.
All right, time to wrap up here. So
yes.
It should be Milan's pick, but since he didn't make it this week, I guess he's gonna have to get cut out of next week too, because I'm gonna hijack his topic. And I'm going to do it shamelessly. And, Bill, I'm going to make you go to the movies.
Oh, no.
Because coming out... Wait, is it next week, or do I have another week until that happens?
What's the
wait,
movie?
no, I do have another week. Shit. Okay, well...
Frankenstein!
No, God, no. Fuck that.
I am seeing that, though. Just, I gotta know.
Alright. Well, I'm picking a topic. I'm just... It should be my topic on the 7th, and I was supposed to have an idea topic at that point, but, like, I really fucking want to review a movie that's coming out on the 7th. That being the Lego movie.
Oh, fuck you, yes.
Right? So I'm
see
gonna do the Lego movie on the 7th. So should we come up with another idea for next week, you think?
Ooh, yeah, I guess we should.
Since we're gonna have a new movie review on the 7th, I think that's a good idea, personal.
I mean, I guess. So, you got any ideas? You got anything rattling around in that brain of yours?
I'm not sure how long we can go on about this, but when we were doing the review of Taxi Driver, Milan brought up Catcher in the Rye, and I had to explain what Catcher in the Rye was about, and that it wasn't just a teenager bitching. So that actually gave me the idea for portraying teenagers.
We could do that.
Yeah, you think that's viable? Okay.
And I'm still there, so I mean, I'd have a perspective on it.
Well, I mean, what are you, 19 now?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean...
Alright, so I'm not technically a teenager, but...
I mean, I'm 20... How old am I? Shit. I'm 20...
How the... Hang on, I gotta check my shoes. Hang on. I'm 23.
No, it's just like...
Or no, what is it? Why is there always this joke in, like, media where people are like, hang on, I gotta see how old I am. Let me check my underwear. I never get that joke.
I don't know either.
Ever see that joke, though? It's so weird. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I mean, media, because they have to pretend to be a certain age. But I don't know why check the underwear.
Why is the underwear telling of that?
I don't know. Or
Tell me, you know.
what kind of underwear they're wearing? I don't know. No, the reason I forget I'm 23 is because, I mean, who the fuck tells me... Like, after you reach a certain age, like, after 21... Like, your birthday just isn't really a thing anymore until you hit, like, 50.
Well, why?
No, it's just like, 21's the last big birthday for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you got a lot of landmark birthdays when you're young. I mean, 1 through 10, all landmark birthdays. Then there's 16. Then there's 18. Then there's 21. You get a lot of big birthdays. And then after 21, it's just kind of like you celebrate it, but, like, no one really brings up how old you are that often anymore.
I would say 35 is no, not 30, I'm sorry, just 30 is a big one, too. Because that's like, alright, you're an adult now, stop being a dick, you're an adult
but
now.
not in a happy, like, let's celebrate.
Oh, okay, I got you, where it's more of like, hey, stop it.
Yeah, like, it's a landmark, but not in a happy...
Have a kid already.
No, but, anyway, so yeah, I'm 23.
Why the fuck did you bring that up now?
I don't remember.
God damn it. I'm sorry, dude, that's my fault.
Teenage, that's why.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I mean, I felt I remember very well why being a teenager and feeling the way I did back then. I remember the phenomenology of being a teenager. So yeah, I think portrayal of teenagers is a good place to go.
Yep.
You know what? Since we are kind of cheating and doing 2 topic videos in a row, do you think that we should throw like a topic/review video, like make it double?
Okay. What's your idea?
I forget the guy's name. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Twilight.
No, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, the Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo DiCaprio that's set...
Oh, Baz Luhrmann's?
Yeah, there we go. That's set in the modern era. Like, I think we should review that and talk about portrayal of teenagers.
Oh, don't make me rewatch that movie.
Really? You don't like that one?
Oh, God. I mean, it's visually stunning, but it's so boring.
I really like that one. It's probably my favorite version of Romeo and Juliet, but, alright, fine.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm gonna have to rewatch it, too, because I haven't seen it in, like, fucking 8 years.
Fair enough. Like, if you can pick something else that you think either portrays teenagers very poorly or portrays teenagers very well off the top of your head right now.
Oh, then Twilight, there you go.
No, wait, I'm not watching Twilight. Fuck you.
I'm not gonna make you watch Twilight, but you know why it's bad.
Yeah, but I'm not watching Twilight, so no. Like, at least there's something good in the Romeo and Juliet.
I mean, at least it's visually fascinating.
So, okay, we're gonna stick with Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, that's fine. I had to bring that up because I'm like, oh.
Okay, anyway. So, yeah, we're gonna do a double video. Like, we've done that a couple times where it's a review and idea. So that's how I'm gonna get around my cheat. And then on the 7th, we'll be doing the Lego movie. Unfortunately, Milan will not be able to join us for that one. Because, Bill, I was curious about that, and I looked up the release date in Australia. Care to guess when it is?
Like in 20 years?
In April.
Why?
I don't know. I thought
it's
it was
weird
bad
because
when Man of Steel came out 2 weeks later over there, but God.
Yeah, it's weird because the Marvel movies always come out first in foreign markets, and the DC movies always come out afterwards, and this has got Batman and Superman in it, so...
It's certainly odd.
Wait, let me ask you this, because Marvel does DC and Marvel characters. Are there any Marvel characters in the Lego movie?
You said Marvel does DC and Marvel characters, but I know what you mean. I don't think so, because it is being distributed by WB. So I think that's why. Though that might mean, and I would be so happy if this happened, what if they do a sequel, and it's got the Marvel superheroes in it instead of the DCs? That'd be...
But I mean, well, maybe they'll have a cameo, because DC and Marvel will be like, alright, we're not going to split hairs over the fucking Lego movie.
I don't know. It's possible, but I doubt it.
Like, that would be life-changing.
Because that's you're basically asking for Disney and WB to come back together again.
Okay, never mind. That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, look back at Who Framed Roger Rabbit with fond memories, my friend. That's the last time you'll ever see it.
You're right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm excited, though. I'm excited, just because... it's Batman, dude.
Yeah, I keep seeing the trailers for it, and I was a huge Lego fan growing up, so I'm really excited for that one.
I'm waiting for my fucking Bionicle movie, dude.
They've done a couple.
Yeah, but I mean, like a good one. Never before has a hope and dream been stated so unpoetically and so bluntly. Ian, I just want a good one.
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, everyone, so thank you for listening to this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah, it's all because Milan wasn't in it. I know you're listening to this, Milan. There we go. Even when you're not in a video, I insult you.
Ian, you're gonna drive him to do something he's gonna regret, dude. Oof.
Nah, but alright, fine. I'll pay Milan a compliment. People, go watch his 5 most heartbreaking moments of the New 52. Really good video.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Also listen to his podcast, Transmissions from Insta.
That's really funny. Oh my god, yes. But yeah, go check out Milan's channel. He's fun, even though we make fun of him. There you go, Milan.
We love you.
And marketed you. I don't love you, but I would use you to serve my own...
I don't love you, but I'd use you.
I'd use you to serve my own ends. Anyway.
Milan, I'll say this. Never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
We whore Milan out, let me whore myself out. If you're on Facebook, do me a favor, and go ahead and like the Sons of Sarazawa Network homepage. It's called that. Go ahead and like it. We do 3 podcasts now under the Sons of Sarazawa label, so go ahead and like that page. You get updates on that, and other stuff as well. And just go ahead and like that page because I don't know. That's where all that's coming out of, and you'd be doing me a big solid. So
yeah,
there you go.
Cool. I'm trying to think if there's anything to whore me out. Fucking subscribe to this channel, please.
Yeah.
Views have been like...
We gotta whore this show out.
Dude, Geeky Gentleman views have been so damn sporadic lately. Like, some episodes will get like 12 views, and I have just the sense that no one sees that the video is there. And then other episodes get like close to 100 views. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. See, fuck Milan doing something to himself he's gonna regret. You kids out there are gonna make Ian do something to himself he's gonna regret, because it's like, 12 years...
I will make a Harlem Shake video if this...
Oh, God, yes. People watch Geeky Gentlemen just to see Ian do the Harlem Shake.
I'll do it. If the Lego Movie gets over 200 views within a reasonable amount of time, I will do a Harlem Shake video.
No. Fuck the Harlem Shake, Gangnam Style.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yes. All right, everybody. You saw me twerk. Now you got to do this.
Well, Gangnam Style is, at least political commentary and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, sure it is.
It is.
And the Lost Skeleton is about evil on the inside.
No, seriously, you didn't know that? The whole song Gangnam Style is like a parody of this lifestyle that these people in South Korea are leading. It's like it's making fun of them and showing them that they're like shallow and empty on the inside.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a really big political statement.
And that guy is known for that. But before that, he had that hit internationally. He had a song in South Korea that was just shitting on America, and when it got out, he had to apologize for it.
Yeah. But anyway, that's this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen, everyone. Thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
I'm the Fanatic.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be disgusting.